Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jada Bailey, the Mindful Mage, and this video today is going to be about resetting, coming back to the basics and focusing on being intentional, because life can really get away from us sometimes. We get stuck in routine, and day after day time just slips by, slips right out of our hands until we feel like hamsters on a wheel, like we aren't making any progress and we aren't quite living. We're just surviving, just doing, just getting through the day to day. And when you're quite spiritual, and especially when you practice the craft, it can make you feel disconnected from yourself, disconnected from your spirituality, disconnected from your practice, disconnected from the earth. That's pretty common. And if you do feel that, you are not alone. Sometimes we all get stuck on autopilot. And the best thing to do to turn that off, to fix it, is to come back to center. Find a practice or a ritual in the mundaneness of the everyday, and find a bit of magic in each day, or make a bit of magic in each day. And it's easiest to do in the small things that you already do, like rituals.
There's a rhythm to the sacred that lives inside ordinary life. And so when I do my Sunday resets, I like to start at my altar, cleansing my space, giving offerings to my goddess, and thanks for her presence. And so when I begin my Sunday reset, I begin with Oshun, goddess of the rivers, of sweetness, of love in abundance. To me, Oshun is not a figure outside of myself. I feel her in the deepest recesses of my spirit, almost like she's a memory from another lifetime. Her energy flows through me like the golden honey that she represents. She teaches that softness is power, that beauty is medicine, and that pleasure is sacred. That is why I begin here, with her, with gratitude, with offering. When I hold her goddess oil in my hands, it is not just as a perfume or an offering to her, but as an extension of my spirit. My intentions flow into it like a prayer poured into water. When I anoint my candle with Oshun's goddess oil, when I anoint my wrists, my space, I remind myself that ritual is not about perfection, but presence. The flame cleanses, the smoke carries, and the bell calls silence into the room. Every flower I touch and reposition, every crystal I place, every piece of fruit I offer to my goddess, these are not just objects. They are love letters from me to Oshun, gifts that say, I remember you, I honor you, and I thank you for being with me always, as she has been with me through the good times and the bad, through my highest highs and my lowest lows. I feel her energy, I feel her presence, and I feel her guiding light. Everything I do with my goddess in mind. And I cannot begin my week without paying homage to her. When I prepare my money bowl, I remember that abundance is not luck, it is intention. Everything I place inside my bowl is alive with meaning. Rice and oats for prosperity, cinnamon for attraction, honey for sweetness and another nod to Oshun, carnelian for courage, clove for protection. I draw sigils of my financial goals on bay leaves because they carry fire and manifestation. Each symbol is specific to me, to my path, to what I'm calling in. This bowl is not merely decoration. It is living. It requires feeding, tending, nurturing, the way my ambitions require effort and love. The more I pour into it, the more it pours back into me. This is how I anchor abundance, with reverence, with faith, with devotion. When I pour into my money bowl, it is not greed that drives me. It is gratitude. Gratitude for what is here, and faith in what is still on its way. This is how I whisper back to the universe. I am ready. I am open. I am listening. When I journal, I ground myself in the present. It is more than ink on paper. It is a safe place where I can pour the parts of myself that were once conditioned to stay hidden. To write is to heal for me. It's to tell the truth without fear or without judgment. Some pages hold dreams, others hold grief, but all of them hold me. And in the act of writing, I refill my spiritual cup. Mindful words, mindful moments, mindful breath. These can be rituals too. I like to take a moment to just breathe, to be at peace with the world and at peace with myself, to be present, to be mindful, to be grateful for all that I am, from where I've come and from where I still have to go. And make no mistake, regardless of what I've been through, I am grateful. My neighbor lost her mother, and today I thought I'd bake something nice for her to maybe help her a bit with her grief. There is old wisdom that says food prepared in love carries healing across cultures and generations. When grief entered a home, neighbors would show up with meals. It was never just about feeding the body, it was about comforting the soul. A warm loaf, a sweet roll, a hot dish. Each became a balm of sorts to a grieving heart. It's not something that'll make the difference of night versus day, but a little something to say, we're here for you. Healing and warm. It carries fire energy that drives away heaviness. Sugar adds sweetness to life when days feel bitter. Butter is richness, reminding us that comfort can still be found. Every ingredient becomes intention, Every motion becomes prayer, kneading the dough. I imagine weaving love into each fold. Cleaning my station, I clear space not just in the kitchen, but in my spirit. Cooking in this way becomes more than a task. It, in and of itself, becomes a devotion of sorts. This is the heart of my kitchen witchery, the heart of my kitchen magic. This is how I give of myself to others, but also back to myself. It's the littlest things that we do each day that we can add magic to, that can, in a way, become its very own ritual that brings us back to spirit.
About a year ago, I had a 9-month-old baby, and as much as I was enjoying motherhood again and being able to spend all day, every day with that baby, times were really feeling dark and heavy with the political climate that we're in now, with the literal climate that we're facing now with climate change, with everything that's just going on across the planet. It was hard to focus on anything other than survival and the negatives and the fear. So every day I would get up and it felt like I was just going through the motions. I would try my best to be present in the moment, especially with my baby, because at that moment in time, my children were the only things that brought me even the slightest semblance of joy. But as soon as he'd go down for a nap or he would sleep for the night or my oldest was away at school, I would slip right back into autopilot again. It was to a point where I wasn't even sure what day it was anymore. I was just getting up in the morning, going through the routine, getting the baby through his day, getting the family through their day, cleaning, cooking, going down for bed, waking up and doing it again the next day because I was too tired, spiritually, emotionally, physically, too tired to make room for much else, especially for myself.
When I return to the dough, I return with my whole heart. I bless it with my hands, infusing healing and compassion. I ask that each bite bring comfort, that each taste carry love. Baking becomes alchemy here. Heat transforms, sugar melts, flavors blend just as grief transforms us. Sweetness can remind us of joy that still exists. There's an old proverb that says, when the heart is grieving, the stomach has no appetite, but food given in love teaches it to eat again. Across generations, this truth has echoed. When loss entered a home, neighbors would arrive with bread, stews, cakes. It was never just food. It was a way of saying, "You are not alone. We will carry you until you can carry yourself again." As I pressed the cinnamon into this dough, I called on its warmth and protection. Sugar softens the bitterness of life. Butter grounds us in riches and in comfort. Each ingredient becomes a vessel of intention. Each movement becomes prayer. And in this, I return to Oshun, the goddess who governs sweetness, honey, and nourishment of the soul. Just as she reminds us that joy is sacred, she also reminds us that sharing sweetness with others is a form of healing. These rolls are more than a recipe. They are my offering to a grieving heart, carrying Oshun's light, carrying my love, carrying the truth that sweetness can be medicine. From altar to journal, from bowl to oven, all of this is ritual. All of this is prayer. All of this is sacred. To live this way is to remember that divinity is not found in some faraway place. It is here, in our homes, in our words, in our kitchens, and in our kindness. This is the everyday sacred. This is how we reclaim our wholeness.
If this video spoke to you, let me know in the comments what small act that you're going to make sacred this week. Please feel free to share this with anyone that needs a reminder of their own magic, or save it just for yourself. Hit that like button and subscribe for more everyday ritual that brings magic and purpose and joy back into your life. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day.